At one point, Middle Tennessee had scored 5 touchdowns and had only 6 first downs because every play was like 50, 60, and then a 98-yard touchdown pass. Miami's defense was just atrocious. They made a change at quarterback with Jake Garcia, which feeds more into the fire of the whole idea that Mario Cristobal just takes a hold of quarterbacks and then strangles all the life out of them, and then until they just regress and they turn into nothing, and then he has to go to the bench to go find another quarterback. We'll see how that translates right now at Miami. It's early yet in his tenure, but today was just absolutely back to reality and back to the center of the earth for Miami. That defensive performance by Miami is the worst that Kevin Steele has had. Kevin Steele, the defensive coordinator at Miami, had to have been having some flashbacks to the last time he coached a game there on an opposing sideline when he was at Clemson. You guys remember when he was in the Orange Bowl with Clemson, and he gave up what, like 70 something points to West Virginia? This was almost just as embarrassing because, well, I'd say maybe it is more embarrassing because he gave up 45 points to Middle Tennessee, a struggling Middle Tennessee team that everybody wants to fire their coach, Rick Stockstill. So I don't understand what is going on in Miami. I think it also put a little bit of a brighter light, some disinfectant on Texas A&M and what they are offensively. Miami not back. We thought they were making strides, but that defense was atrocious, giving up big play after big play. The Hurricanes need to just go back to trying to figure out like what things are going to look like in 2023's recruiting class more so than what things are going to look like about a potential New Year's Six Bowl in 2023.
I've been telling people for several months now to just slow down on Miami. Coach Cristobal has a major rebuilding phase in front of him. And just because you hire a new coach and you hire a sexy staff, that doesn't mean you get to skip the steps of the process. You still have a roster that's not as talented as they need to be. You still have coaching staff that needs to get cohesion and chemistry and develop together. Also, in this transfer portal era, getting guys, this football is still a team game based on chemistry. And when you don't have that, and when you're losing pieces and adding pieces, it takes even longer. The Miami Hurricanes, when people say they want Miami to be back, do you realize how talented those Miami Hurricanes teams were? The amount of first-round picks, the amount of Hall of Famers for 148 consecutive weeks, a Miami player scored a touchdown in the NFL. Nobody in their right mind looks at Miami's team right now and thinks that they have that kind of talent. The Miami fans need to slow down a little bit, come back down to reality, and be patient in the rebuilding process that Coach Cristobal has in front of him at the University of Miami.
Speaking of talent and slowing down, the Tyler Van Dyke train slammed on the brakes. Brandon mentioned it, Coach. He got benched late in this game, and that's not a great look, especially against an opponent, no offense, producer Aaron, like Middle Tennessee State. Coach Reed, I want to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, because you're talking about rescaling expectations, what's the concern level for a guy like Tyler Van Dyke who gets benched in this game after being potentially a first-round quarterback type of conversation drawer?
It's never a good look, but maybe the first-round conversation was premature also, right? So when you bench your quarterback, what you're saying is nothing that we're doing offensively is going the right way, and we blaming it on this guy. We think that another guy can come in and do a better job. And that's usually an emotional and knee-jerk reaction to whatever is going on the field. And so when you look at it, it's unfortunate, but I want to see how it affects Van Dyke mentally moving forward. Now, football is a big boys game, especially at the Power 5 level. So you hope that he's a professional and he goes in there and he works very hard to make his team and his coaches have confidence in him again. But a quarterback psyche sometimes can be very fragile. So when you jerk him in and out of that position, you never know what you're going to get the rest of the season.